Yes.
Always a pleasure to talk to you. I was at the premiere last night, and it was quite an inspiring experience to see it with its own audience, and it was such an interactive experience seeing it with those people. Tell us a little bit about your impression.
I mean, I had never seen it. I've seen it a few times, but I've never seen it. I've seen it in different iterations, but I've never seen it with an audience, and it was tough. It was wonderful from a selfish standpoint that people were reacting and laughing and this and that, and you see what works and, you know, all that. But I think, you know, it also just, it brings it home more. You know, it just has more of an impact when you see people and when you're experiencing it with people. So Jeff and I, you know, we got up, he went up the aisle, I went up the aisle afterwards, and we saw each other and we embraced and we had tears. And, you know, I think it was an impactful thing for us. I'm glad that people responded the way that they do, or the way they have. It seems to have a positive effect, not the death of these guys, but the celebrating of the life of these people. So I'm very pleased.
It's totally the kind of film that you do for the purpose of honoring those victims, isn't it?
I think, I don't know how to answer that, because yes, maybe. I mean, it's an excuse to be able to celebrate the lives of these people. It's like the people in Las Vegas. It's not, their lives aren't defined by the tragedy. The lives are defined by what they lived. And I think the bravery is the fact that these guys go and do what they do every day, these men and women. Not by the fact that this tragedy happened, which can happen at any time in such an unpredictable profession. But, you know, I would imagine it's because it is an extreme tragedy that, that makes it interesting because anything extreme, we're all looking for the most extreme stories. That's what we are. So these people are common people who do uncommon things with uncommon amounts of bravery. And, you know, you need an extreme story. At least people feel you need an extreme story to be able to market it.
But I thought it was interesting, you know, the choice to tell the story from the point of view of their lives more than from the point of view of the tragedy.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that, you know, even though like people think, wow, what's going to be the major thing? I think that's why a lot of studios didn't want to do this, is because it had to do with 19 people losing their lives. But what they didn't understand, and what the movie represents, is this incredible camaraderie that you feel of these people and the firefighting community at large. That's what we all want. We all want community, we want loyalty, we want camaraderie, we want, you know what I mean? We want that back and forth. And having been involved with the firefighting community for as long as I have, that's something that I have known for a very long time. So when this movie came along, I was like, I would love to be able to exploit that and manifest that into a film and allow other people to at least indirectly experience it.
So you knew a lot about firefighting ahead of it, or how much did you learn throughout the process of filming?
I learned a lot in the process of filming about these guys. I learned a lot more about wildland firefighting, but I was, you know, I was a volunteer firefighter when I was in my early 20s. I spent a lot of time with firefighters, a lot. Like, with any profession, like acting, only because it's what I do, that's probably the most. The second most would be firefighters. So I understood, and I know a lot of guys that are like this, and I hope that it helped. I hope that it helped be able to create a character that was believable.
Well, it did feel very authentic, and the camaraderie, I'm sure, was also on set between the actors.
Big time.
Yeah, it felt like it as well. You'd worked with Jeff before, but let's talk about everyone.
No, everyone, from Miles to Kitch to Badge to Jennifer to, I mean, Jennifer was a different thing because she was dealing with the family side of it. But everybody, I mean, I can go down, like, you have to understand that, like, you know, I don't know half of I mean, I do, but I don't. I don't know half of these guys' names. I know most of their names, but not all of them, because we never called each other by the real names. It was always by the Hot Shots names, by Granite Mountain Hot Shots names, and it wasn't a forced thing. It just kind of happened that way. When we were, I think they told us to, the actual Granite Mountain Hot Shots, and Dwayne Steinbrück, and the guys who were still around, who were hot shots before on their crew, said, call each other by the names, get used to it, that kind of thing, and it just kind of stuck, and it lasted the whole movie. So there's a few of these guys, I don't even know their real name. I have no idea.
They're Donut and something
Absolutely.
else.
There'd be Donut, and there'd be, you know, Wojciech. Or
the nicknames. So is it safe to say that some projects are just much more meaningful than others, and it's good to alternate?
You know, I have a job that I do where I tell a story, and if it's Deadpool, that's one thing, and does that resonate deeply for me? No, but is it fun to do, and is it different kind of stretching of that skill or whatever you think is a skill in the profession of acting? You know, but this is, it's about real people. It has more resonance. It's about our society. It's about our, it contrasts our divisiveness right now and the political state that we're in, and all the chaos and all that, and you see this universal kind of working together of people and taking very, very different contrasting personalities, and when you strip away all the ego and all the vanity and all the, attitude, and you see how these people can work together so efficiently and so bravely, then I don't know, hopefully it makes me think that all the walls that I'm putting up maybe aren't necessary.
How would you love international audiences to react to the film? I mean, this was a specific story, but actually,
well, I don't think it's quintessentially or essentially American. I like to think of it as American only because I'm American. But the truth of and it's my experience with this is American experience, but the truth of the matter is wildland firefighters happen all over the world. There's wildland firefighters everywhere doing the same type of thing. So the bravery is global. Do you know what I mean? And if we can tap into at least that appreciation for humility, or whatever bravery that we have in ourselves in order to bring people together and, work together in the ways that these guys do. A bunch of misfits who should probably, there's no reason why they should be as good as they are at what they do, but collectively it just works. Yeah. And I think there's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And do you feel cinema has this role, basically, to just shed the light on people who deserve it?
I think it does. If you, I think so. If people go and see it. I mean, it's like they're going to go see Deadpool. Does that shed the light on people who can travel, time travel? And,
no, that's just for escapism.
But do you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So escapism to me is okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think, it was like we saw a slew of movies and then Whiplash came out. And we saw a slew of movies that we didn't like very much. And then Whiplash came on and I found my wife and I both leaning forward. And that's what you want. At least for me, as a movie experience, you want there to be this rope. And that they're just pulling and pulling, and there's a great mystery. There's something so wonderful about a great story being told that when you leave the theater, you're left with something that you contemplate for days, as opposed to just an escape for 2 hours, and then you're back to life, carrying all the shit, you know what I mean?
I call it the movie high. It happens.
The movie high.
Yes.
It happens once in a while.
Once
in
a while,
not
and then
often.
you're high for a few weeks on it.
You know what? So, with some people that have seen this, and whether it be somebody who's connected to the firefighting community or first responders or not, I've talked to a lot of people, and you can see it in their eyes. Some people are like, really nice job. That's one thing. And somebody goes, no, 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 no. And you can tell something's changed. There's been a shift that's happened, and that's really nice to be able to see that.
Absolutely. He's standing up, but thank you for the interesting conversation, Josh.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice day.
Yeah. Jake. Yes.